to a new pick a card reading. Today we're going to get you clarity on what's really going on between you and your person right now. If you're new to this channel, welcome. I am Dr. V. It's my absolute passion and purpose to be doing these readings for you. I wanted to give a big virtual hug to all of the new subscribers, as well as to everyone who has been part of the Live Tarot family for so many years now. All of you mean the world to me. Thank you so much for being here, for participating, for your comments and your messages. And I hope that you will continue on and stay with me because I love you so much. So I have many ways for you to choose your reading today. You can pick from group number 1, number 2, number 3. I will show you each of the cards. Today is a pick a spirit animal reading. So we have 3 beautiful spirit animals, and we have a special message that is correlated to each animal. So you can also decide based on the message. You can also decide based on the crystals that are with each group, which I'll also be showing you. And then we will be assigning zodiac signs to each group. So some people like to choose theirs as well as their persons and combine those readings as well. So do be gentle with yourself. There is no right or wrong answer. Just trust your intuition. Take what resonates and leave the rest. But if you want clarity on your specific situation, not just this general reading, that happens in a private reading between you and I. This is where we look directly at your connection and the questions that are weighing on you so you can understand what's really going on and what to do next. So if that is right for you, then the link to book a reading is in the description box below and on your screen as well. All right, so let's take a deep breath and let's see which of these you feel most guided towards. So for group number 1, we have this crystal right here, and we have the swan, and the message is grace. You who glides across the waters of my soul, bring me your wisdom and light. Help me transform into elegance and grace. Inspire me with dignity and the spirit of beauty. Group number 2, we have this crystal right here. And the spirit animal is hummingbird. The message is miracles. You are the joy bringer. You bless the world with positivity and love. Energy soars on your shining wings. Spread the miracle of happiness. Group number 3, here is your crystal. And your spirit animal is the unicorn. The message is infinite possibilities. You are the sovereign of the season and unseen worlds. The magic of love surrounds you. Beauty transforms you. Listen to the spirits of light. Abandon the darkness. Go beyond the ordinary and become the legendary. Okay, let's go ahead and assign zodiac signs. Okay, group number 1, we have Libra, Scorpio, Taurus, and Cancer. Group number 2, we have Aquarius, Sagittarius, Capricorn, and Gemini. Group number 3, we have Virgo, Aries, Leo, and Pisces. Go ahead and make your choice, and we will get started with group number 1. My beautiful group number 1 that chose the swan as well as this crystal, and Libra, Scorpio, Taurus, and Cancer. Let's see what is really going on between you and your person right now. So we'll start with oracle cards, and then we will do your tarot. And stay with me till the end, because we will also be finding out who is your goddess spirit guide for this reading and what is her special message for you. Contract. Boundaries. No drawing the line enough. Gratitude. You fully appreciate the invaluable lessons that life lovingly presents to you. Keeping up. Immense effort. Advance. Okay. Interesting that we are getting the contract energy here. This is also a Libra card, and we do have Libra as part of this group. So there's something here about justice, about what is fair. I feel like there may be some ongoing challenges between the two of you right now, where someone feels, or both of you may be mirroring this in terms of not having an agreement on certain things, where you feel like things are not fair. And when people feel like things are not fair in a relationship, that can make you start to feel very sad. It can make you start to feel very depressed, because when you love somebody, obviously the soul seeks a natural balance, seeks reciprocity, right? You are seeking a give and take relationship where you feel that you are equally giving and equally receiving. And when that feels that it is out of place, where you feel like you might be giving more than you're getting, because that's what I feel is really going on here between the two of you. It feels like you may feel that you have given a lot, but you haven't received what you want to feel to have your emotional needs met. Okay, so right now what might be going on is that boundaries are being drawn, okay? Where you may have gotten to the point where you said, you know what, enough. I've given enough. I've shown you who I am, what I need, what I want. And now it's time for you to step up. And I feel like your person right now is really feeling the stress of that, okay? They are feeling the stress of your boundary. Now, for some of you, I feel like you may have struggled to express the boundary, okay? It may have taken you a long time because you're a good person. You wanted to give this person a chance. You didn't want to come off as somebody who is difficult, right? Sometimes we allow things into our experience because we love someone and we want to give them the benefit of the doubt. We want to give them some space in order to come forward. We want to give them some understanding or grace, right? And it's interesting because look at this, grace, grace. So I feel like what's going on between the two of you right now is that you feel that you have given this person a lot of grace. You've given them time. You've given them opportunity. You have stayed open. You've tried not to shut things down, right? But continuing on, there seems to be some level of unfairness, some level that doesn't feel equal, and you are looking for equality. So you may have said to this person, or you may have shown it through your behavior. Like if you're not the kind of person who felt comfortable just saying no, right? Because some people do struggle to say no. So you may not have said it through your words. You may have said it through your boundary or through your behavior. And if that is the case, if you have gone silent, if you have stepped back, if you're not really responding to this person's texts or messages and they're trying to reach you, they're trying to access you, and you have stepped back, or you're considering this, that boundary is very powerful. And your person is feeling energetically and vibrationally what that boundary means, okay? And if there is an absence of your energy, if they're feeling that gap where you are no longer there for them, either physically or emotionally, mentally, in any way, that gap is creating tremendous gratitude because it's reminding them of who you really are. You know, it's making them feel so grateful for what they had with you, especially if it's gone or it's now on the way out. So this person right now is sitting in stress and gratitude. They're realizing how much you mean to them, but they're also incredibly stressed about what it's going to take to either get you back or to bring this relationship back into a balance. So we're keeping up immense effort and advance, right? So they know that in order to truly have you, to truly experience your energy again, if you have pulled back, is effort. Okay. I'm also getting, for some of you, this could also mean a third party situation. It doesn't have to be romantic. It could be any kinds of obligations, responsibilities, contracts that this person either has with family that blocks them. They might have toxic family members around them that they are obligated to somehow, whether it's financial, whether it's business, whether it's inheritance, whatever it is. For some of you, this person could be married to somebody else, but very unhappily wanting to get out, but never actually pulling the trigger, never actually getting out. And for some of you, that might feel like what is unfair here is that you keep giving, but this person won't actually end the contract that they have with someone else. And for some of you, the only way that you could have something with this person is if they end that contract, or maybe for some of you, both of you have contracts that need to end, right? But in order to do that, it's going to require incredible effort. It's going to have to require true dedication to take action towards something, feel the pain of it, and feel the consequence of it, right? It's not just about, oh, I love you, and it's all just words. It's about action. Can somebody come out of just the words and the feeling of love and take concrete action that is painful, that is difficult, that requires a lot of belief and courage? Let's go deeper. What else is really going on between you and this person? Ace of Swords, the Devil, Five of Swords, Five of Cups, yeah, confirmation here, and Nine of Cups in reverse. Okay, so there is definite unhappiness and struggle going on here. Okay, so both of you are feeling a sense of loss or a sense of depletion of your personal happiness, which makes sense, right? Especially if you're struggling, you're going through challenges, you might even be like in a temporary pause or separation where the connection feels like it's on hold right now because you don't know what you want to do or what you should do next. They don't know what they want to do or what they should do next, but both of you are very much aware that neither of you are happy. Okay, Nine of Cups in reverse. both of you are at least mirroring each other in the sense that you are both very unhappy without each other. You do miss each other, but neither of you may be coming forward right now because you don't know how to solve this, or you don't know what more needs to be said. I do feel that for some of you, there have been a lot of conversations, okay? And they've gone in circles. For some of you, you've tried to talk this out together, both of you, and even through hours of conversation, you both hit a wall every time. Like just, it got to a point where language may have just run out. You know, when you try to talk through it over and over and over again, but ultimately that talk or discussion doesn't lead anywhere. It just becomes a circle and it becomes emotionally depleting. Like you just feel emotionally exhausted. I get the energy here that both of you feel very emotionally exhausted. To get the 5 of Cups and the 5 of Swords together is definitely becoming very mentally and emotionally exhausted, where you feel like you've just hit a wall and you don't know what to do. And a lot of this, because the 5 of Swords is also the central energy here, a lot of this has to do with the ego, you know? You both might be coming up against egoic walls with each other, where no one wants to admit what they need to change or what needs to happen for this situation to change. It could be from your side, it could be from their side, it could be, you know, or it could be an imbalance. Like, right, they might be a little bit more coming from the ego or trying to protect their ego. You might be coming from trying to protect your heart, because this is protecting the ego, this is protecting the heart, right? Or it could be both. I mean, this is human beings, right? None of us are perfect. We're all managing our own emotions as well as our own pride, or as well as our own ego. But I feel like this person, especially if there's a contract here that needs to be resolved between this person and someone else, part of the reason why they are not doing it, we're getting the devil's energy here with the 5 of Swords, is because there's something toxic going on in that situation. And again, it could be a toxic marriage, a toxic living situation, a toxic family situation. There is something here that is stuck energy. And I feel like Ace of Swords, like, it's like both of you know that in order to become unstuck, there's going to have to be a new way of thinking, a shift in how you think, a shift in how you act, because you can't change your actions unless your thinking changes. So both of you are very much aware, Ace of Swords, that you guys have to think differently. Again, to me, this is also about the fact that maybe you had so many discussions that went nowhere because it's just talk without a shift in the mindset, without a shift in the perspective, without new ideas, just kind of like rehashing old stuff. So this is why I feel like there is a stuck energy here between the two of you. It's egoic, it's emotional, and with the devil's energy here, it's very toxic. There's something here that is toxic that is going on that needs to be resolved. And it has to do with the contract with other people or other situations that is spilling toxicity, that is spilling things that you don't want or need into your connection, into your relationship. So this person right now could very much be stuck in this devil's energy where it's like they want to get out, but they're not making the choices of getting out because there's something in that situation that is still protecting their ego, or they need to protect their ego, or they need to protect something, whether it's money, status, living situation, a story that makes them feel powerful or superior. There's something here, but ultimately, even in that protection of the ego, they realize that they're not happy. Protecting the ego does not serve happiness. It serves other things, right? The comfort of not changing, the comfort of not having courage to change a situation. All of that is a different story than actually being happy. And that's what's going on here. It's like this person may be choosing a familiar misery over the courage of changing something. Winter. You feel out in the cold, your answers arrive in winter. Okay, so you could see that as a time marker, or we're going to get into the energy of it too. See, stuck, block, third party, silence, barrier. Shift your focus to clear the energy. Loss of self and identity. See, discover your true self again. I'm telling you, this is all so in alignment with what we have just seen here in the tarot. Free will, choices. See, choices, decisions, contact, inaction. Action cannot be forced. Okay, so this is what I mean. There is a stuck energy. This is why it feels like there is coldness right now between the two of you. There is a winter energy. This is also very much like Five of Pentacles. This person may feel very blocked off from you right now because you may have decided that you don't want to talk again and again endlessly anymore, right? Maybe you drew the line, you drew the boundaries, right? So this person is feeling excluded right now. Or you may be feeling excluded. It could be a mirroring effect, but definitely right now there feels like there is something cold, something is stuck. This is another confirmation that there is some sort of a third party, but again, I always say it is a external situation. Whatever that external situation is, it is making this connection feel very stuck, okay? And this person has been struggling with making choices that matter because they're afraid of some sort of loss. And again, this reading has been very consistent around that. There is some sort of Five of Swords attachment to something that they are afraid of losing. And if they exercise that free will, then they will lose something. And that's where the stuck energy really is coming from. And so that's why I say, like, if you want true clarity and wanting to understand the depth of what's going on between you and this person and what actual steps you can take, that's where a private reading is so powerful. Okay, so if this resonates, I recommend you do the private reading so we can get you specific answers in what's going on in your situation. So the link to that is always in the box below as well as on the screen. So let's see, who is your goddess spirit guide and what is her message for you? Green Tara, start delegating. Ask others, including me, to help you instead of trying to do everything by yourself. I think this is a wonderful message, especially for the beginning of the year. If you're somebody who is very independent and always struggles through doing things on your own, I think Spirit is saying, lean on me. You know, don't just try to do things by yourself. If you're going through a hard time, lean on me. Ask me for help, and I will give it to you. I think that's really beautiful. So as always, private reading links are in the box below. Also, if you'd like to order any of the oracle decks that I have created and used in this reading, the Twin Flame Oracle, Divine Feminine Entrepreneur, these are available at a great price with free shipping on Amazon FBA. And if you haven't already, please do hit that subscribe, give this video a like. It really helps me in the channel. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you all on the next one. Two that chose this crystal right here, as well as the hummingbird. Let's see. Aquarius, Sagittarius, Capricorn, and Gemini. So let's see what's really going on between you and your person right now. So we will start with oracle cards. And then we will do your tarot. And stay with me till the end because we will find out who is your goddess spirit guide for this reading and what is her special message for you today. Anxiety, soulmates, deep love, unity, and connection. Ownership. You acknowledge your misdeeds and accomplishments alike and learn to love them all as lessons. such a curious dream. Grounding, returning to reality, coming home. Okay. All right. So I feel like there is a lot of love in this connection. There's a lot of deep, deep love. There may have even been unity, but there seems to be a lot of anxiety on whether that unity or that connection can continue forward. I feel like both of you are in a place right now where you're feeling very stressed. Okay, there's a lot of stress. There's a lot of unspoken things between the two of you. For some of you, there might even be a silence right now, and what that silence is doing is kind of keeping you connected to each other more at that fantasy level, right? Like when you're not speaking, your mind is kind of creating scenarios, right? I feel like both of you are kind of in this rumination stage right now. There's like ruminating, there's anxiety. You're both going over conversations from the past, things that happened in the past. You're both just kind of going, maybe looping in circles in your minds, you know, about what's happened, why it worked, why it didn't work, where you are right now, what did you say, what could have been said differently, did I make a mistake, did you make a mistake? There just seems to be a lot of anxious, stressed looping and ruminating going on between the two of you right now. But the thing is that underneath all of that, there's definitely still a deep sense of we are soulmates, we are connected, we have so much love, but that's not our problem. Love is not the problem. I feel like there's issues involved in this relationship where love is there, but the ownership may not be. As in, there might be issues here where somebody is not willing to take accountability for their actions, for their choices, or they may not want to even choose in the first place, right? There's a sense here that the lack of ownership is about not admitting that you're stuck, you're not making a decision, you don't want to make a decision, or you need to make choices that are too big or too scary to make, so you are stuck. Now, I also feel like within that process, there's been things that were done or said that were misdeeds. See, you acknowledge your misdeeds. So somebody made mistakes here. It could have been you, it could have been them, it could have been both of you, where there were mistakes made, maybe words spoken that are now being regretted. Sometimes you say things you feel like it's hard to take that back. It created a wound in the other person, but there might not be ownership, where I feel like someone really hurt the other person, or vice versa. It could be you both hurt each other, but you have not yet taken accountability or ownership for that. There's an ego issue here. And that's why I said that right now it seems like the relationship has gone into fantasy or rumination. And the reason why it's more like you're fantasizing about each other, you might even be fantasizing about a reconciliation. But there seems to be not a lot of talk, because talk would have to lead to accountability and somebody would have to admit the mistakes they made. And I feel like there's an ego issue here where someone doesn't want to admit the mistakes that were made, because then they would have to step up and say, look, I did this. It's on me. I made this mistake. I shouldn't have done that, right? And sometimes the love is there. It's very deep, but it's not stronger, at least in this moment. It is not stronger than the pride or the ego's need to defend itself. And that is why I feel like in terms of what's really going on between you guys is you're trying to figure out how to come home to each other. See? Grounding, returning to reality, coming home. You're trying to figure out how you can come back to each other, or how you can come home to one another. But that is going to require grounding and returning to reality, which right now, like I said, it's not reality. It's more of a fantasy. It's looping. It could be obsessive thinking, going over things. So I feel like both of you know that the bridge back to each other exists, But that bridge is going to require you both facing your fears, you both getting the courage to actually speak from the heart, to not put up walls, to not try to avoid responsibility, to reconcile without taking ownership. I feel like for some of you, that's the issue right now. You might also, group 2, be looking at this person thinking, I love you very much, but I feel like you are trying to re-enter my life without apologizing for what you did, or you're trying to re-enter my life acting like nothing happened because you don't want to take ownership. That's really interesting. So let's see. Let's go deeper. What else is really going on between you right now? Ooh, that one just flipped over. Seven of Cups. Six of Pentacles. Queen of Swords. This makes sense coming through here as the central energy. Page of Wands, Eight of Wands. Okay. So there's definitely a sense of urgency coming through here. Okay, so this kind of like standoff, because I feel like there's a bit of a standoff energy here where, you know, neither one of you may want to be the first person to come forward. You might be in some sort of silence right now. And the reason is because whoever comes forward feels like they have to own it, right? So that's why we're getting this Queen of Swords as a central energy. It seems like everybody's kind of in their mind right now. This to me is part of that rumination, right? Obsessive thoughts, all in your head, you know, not getting much like emotional energy. Like the only emotional energy we're getting here is the Seven of Cups, which is about emotional confusion, right? So there's definitely a sense of, I don't know what to do. There's options in front of me. None of them seem right. None of them protect my ego. I would have to be vulnerable. I'd have to really, let my guard down and talk about what's truly bothering me or what's truly going on. I don't know if I can do that, because what if I initiate and it's not reciprocated? So there's also a fear here around reciprocity. Something in this relationship, there's a pattern in this relationship about reciprocity. Someone doesn't feel that there's been an equal exchange of give and take. And I believe we had a similar energy in group 1 as well. So there might be a little bit of a theme going on in the collective here around the natural and equal exchange of energy. So I feel like there's a fear and a confusion here of, okay, if I come forward, if I want to talk, if I get out of this anxiety right here and say, okay, I'm willing to let my guard down. I'm willing to talk about this. There's a confusion over whether the other person will step up and do the same, or will it feel one-sided? I feel like this is another pattern here where there's a lot of, the word that came to me is anger, but that anger is also in love, like when you really love somebody and they make you mad, it's like that kind of anger, like there's a lot of fear, anger, and dread around, well, if I show up and I'm vulnerable, what if the other person is not? And then I feel like I'm alone in this again. And I feel like there's no equality or equal give and take here. So I feel like there's a pattern here of fear around, one person doing all the work. But at the same time, there's like this sense of urgency, Eight of Wands, like I want to resolve this. I don't want to be without you anymore. I miss you a lot, I want to have this conversation. For some of you, if this is a long distance relationship, this is also the desire to travel to each other so you could have this conversation face to face, because it just doesn't feel right if there's an actual physical distance between the two of you. It feels like that's part of the misunderstandings, right? So I feel like for some of you, there has been some deep misunderstandings. There's been this deep sense of like, you know, are we getting each other, or are we just going in circles? And there's also a sense of Page of Wands, like, you know, whatever actions that are going to be taken need to be taken from a greater level of maturity. And so far, there's been some immature behavior, perhaps on both sides, right? I think there's an acknowledgement of that as well, that, you know, if you have both behaved immaturely in the past, then that's something that has to be dealt with. That's something that you have to, you know, get over in order to come back to this deep love, unity, and connection that you already have. Let's see what else is really going on between you. Sacred space, altar, prayer, and candles, commune with your own divinity. Ascend, expansion, evolution, universal intelligence, stay connected to spirit. Divine feminine energy, seeking her soulmate, beautiful. Divine timing, patience, perseverance, peace, trust that the divine knows when. Okay, so you see how there is definitely a sense of desire that's perhaps unspoken between the two of you right now. And remember, I had said 8 of Wands, there's a sense of urgency around creating a sacred space, or a space where the two of you could come together and talk. But talk in a way that actually solves something and moves things forward, or ascends the connection higher than the level that it's been at, right? So I feel like there's a deep desire between the two of you to resolve, to ascend, and to not go back to old patterns that felt low vibration. Okay, that felt low vibration. There is a definite sense of like pressure on the feminine energy, almost like a leadership pressure. Because look, we're getting both Queen of Swords and the Divine Feminine. Okay, we don't have a lot of masculine energy here. And I feel like there's the sense that the feminine feels the pressure to lead in this situation, or the pressure to resolve, because maybe the masculine is being passive right now. Okay, so there's this tension in the air, you know, and the feminine feels that tension very deeply. But it's that tension that is putting the pressure for a resolution. But I definitely feel that the feminine in this connection is the one who is feeling the need to lead, because the masculine may be better at suppressing those emotions. The masculine right now may be better at stalling, because the masculine cannot handle those heavy emotions right now. But there seems to be a sense in the feminine that no matter how much the feminine wants to avoid leading the situation, there's a pull. Like, if you want resolution, if you want an answer, what do I do? Right? That's the pull. And there's and there's a sense of asking, you know, is this the right time? You know, when is the right time for a resolution. When will this resolution happen? There's a real deep anxiety, again, keep coming back to this card, about when is this going to resolve itself? What needs to happen to resolve it? What actions, if any, need to be taken so that you're not stuck in this holding pattern, which is what this is coming out to. So if this resonates with you and you actually want to go in deep on your situation so we can look at what's truly happening, what's the holding pattern, what needs to be done or not done, and what steps can be taken that could lead to a resolution, then I highly recommend you have that private reading, okay? The links are in the box below as well as on the screen. You could do video recorded or you could do live. Now, let's see, who is your goddess guide for this reading? And here's her message. Dana, High Priestess. You have divine knowledge that can help others through your spiritual teaching. Beautiful. This reminds me of the tarot, right? The High Priestess card in tarot. So this is something that you should keep in mind because you do have a spiritual depth in you that maybe you are not yet fully aware of or are not using those skills. So that's something to think about. Okay, so like I said, if you'd like a reading, the links are in the box below. So are the links to the oracle decks that I've created, the love and the money and career deck. These are available with free shipping at a great price at Amazon.com. If you haven't already, please do hit that subscribe, give this video a like. It really helps me in the channel. Thank you so much for being here and for your support, and I'll see you all on the next one. My beautiful group 3 that chose this crystal right here, as well as the unicorn, and Virgo, Aries, Leo, and Pisces. Let's see what's really going on between you and your person right now. So we'll start with your oracle cards. And then we will do your tarot. And stay with me till the end because we will be finding out who is your goddess guide for this reading and what is her special message for you. Broken heart. Open heart. Receptive, empathy, and vulnerable. Responsibility. You are aware of the power of your thoughts and the amount of love you express. All must have prizes, trying to please everyone. Okay, so this is very interesting. There does seem to be a theme in the collective right now, because now we're seeing it in group 3 as well, about responsibility, ownership. Okay, and that is actually a very powerful theme to start off a new year, because when it comes to having successful relationships, right, a big part of it is how you take responsibility for how you show up in the relationship and how you take ownership and accountability for your own actions. Now that might sound very boring and unromantic. I can see why it does, right? But it's really about longevity, right? You know, when the romance and the honeymoon period is over, what do you have after that that's going to sustain something long term? Is that when you have mutual respect, mutual sense of I take accountability for my actions, and I'm not going to pretend that I didn't do something wrong and try to pretend it never happened. So this is why I feel like right now, look how interesting both of you are coming through with broken heart and open heart. So this tells me that something has happened here that has been incredibly hurtful, and you both feel brokenhearted, or one of you feels more brokenhearted than the other, but that doesn't mean that your heart has closed. So there's pain, there's definite grief, there's definite suffering here, but it has not closed your heart off to each other. your hearts are still open. They're still receptive. They're still willing to be vulnerable because there is a deep love there. Even if right now that love has a lot of pain associated with it. So it's very interesting. Like, I don't think I've ever done a reading where these two have come together like this: broken heart, open heart. That's very powerful, and it shows us that there is definitely some deep resilience in this connection, where even if you disappoint each other, even if right now somebody has not taken responsibility, maybe words were said, maybe there was an argument, a misunderstanding, actions were taken that were very hurtful, words that were said were very hurtful. Even if the heart feels fractured right now, it hasn't fully closed, because there's something in the connection that has not closed off yet. Okay, so there's definitely something here about needing to take responsibility for what has happened, what needs to happen, or what happened that felt very hurtful or painful in this connection. And there's definitely a sense of where is that coming from, or what caused this to happen in the first place. And I feel like when we get this card, trying to please everyone, I always feel like this has to do with third-party situations. And like I said, it doesn't have to be romantic. It can be trying to please family members who are toxic. It can mean trying to please children. If you have kids from a previous relationship, they could even be adult kids, right? They can be teenagers. Just the sense that there are other duties or obligations, or again, responsibilities in this connection that is getting in the way of a full commitment in this connection, whatever that might be. So this is another, I feel like there's two energies coming from the responsibility card. One is the energy of taking ownership for your actions and your words and what you've done. The other is that there could be responsibilities that one or both of you have outside of the relationship that are making you feel that you have to please everyone. And when you try to please everyone, you please no one. So there seems to be a lot of stress around that. And whatever is this broken heart or despairing energy, it might be coming from the sense that, you know what, I have other people I have to deal with, you know? Again, whether it's an actual romantic third party, in the sense that maybe this person is still tied to somebody else through a legal contract, but they want to get out, but they're trying to please that person somehow, or they're trying not to hurt that person. And in trying not to hurt them, they're not taking responsibility for their own heart, because what they feel for you is what's real, but what they feel for the other person is not. But again, they're still trying to not be the bad girl or the bad guy in that situation, right? And that's causing the pain. Or it could be, you know, pleasing, again, family, obligations, whatever it is that is causing this rupture of like, okay, I have these responsibilities, what do I do with them? You know, my responsibility to you is important to me, but I'm also being torn by my responsibilities to others. For some of you, it can even be some sort of work responsibility. It could even be that this person likes to hide in being a workaholic. You know, like maybe they travel a lot. Maybe they're never in one place. Maybe, you know, they try to deal with their emotions by just focusing on work. And that's how they avoid taking responsibility. That's how they avoid having the difficult conversations when it comes to you and love. Let's go deeper. What's really going on between you? Knight of Coins or Pentacles, Knight of Cups, King of Pentacles or Coins, A lot of masculine energy here. The Sun, the Chariot. Wow, so we have a lot of masculine energy with major arcana, which means the divine masculine right now is on a track of learning lessons, big lessons. Okay, so this is what I'm saying. For some of you, this person, if it's a, divine masculine, they are dealing with other responsibilities. They could be a father, they could be a husband, they could be a partner, they could be a son, right? They could have these kind of very practical day-to-day responsibilities that the King of Coins has. And it's the King of Coins' responsibility to keep all of that going peacefully so it's not disrupted, right? But here they are approaching with their emotions, wanting to offer you their cup of love. But this is a slower moving energy, right? It's very slow, it's very tempered, it's very like deliberate. It's not fast. Neither is the Knight of Coins. These are both very slow moving energies compared to the Knight of Swords and the Knight of Wands. So that's definitely going to contribute to the sense of heartbreak, right? Where, you both may feel like progress between the two of you is very slow. One person may be okay with it being slow. The other person may need something faster. And there might be a pain around that, right? The broken heart might be around the fact that timing is different between you. One of you may be totally fine because you're stuck somewhere, you have other responsibilities, you're not in a hurry to move forward. You're trying your best, but you have to balance moving forward in life. This is work, family, finances, living situation, and your heart. So you have to balance these two things, and that's a slow process. So one of you may be trying to balance this very slowly, but it hurts the other person because it feels like their life is going nowhere, like this connection's going nowhere, nothing's moving forward, everything feels dead. There's a sense of like, well, you care about everybody else but me. You're trying to make everybody else happy, pleasing everyone but me. And I thought I'm the person you're in love with, right? So it feels like there is a definite sense of exhaustion, anxiety, sadness, heartbreak around this sense of being stuck. And I feel like there's a fear, there's definitely a fear that right now there's a sense of this foggy energy. Things don't feel clear, right? But there's this fear, either from you to them or them to you, that when the fog clears, when the light comes through, and the thing about the sun's energy is that it is the energy of clarity, right? When the sun shines on dark spaces, everything becomes clear. And when everything becomes clear, that's when forward movement happens. That's when forward movement happens. So I'm getting two energies from this. One energy is someone here has a fear that you will see the light. That you will see the light, you will gain clarity on what's really going on in this situation, and then you will move forward. And you might leave them behind. Because right now you're confused, right now you're not quite sure where you stand, you're not quite sure where this is all going. But once you get that clarity, you will move forward. There's a fear that this person has about your forward movement here. And then the other energy I'm getting here is the desire for clarity so that maybe something in this connection could move forward. But I feel like there's a clarity here that's being denied. Like you do know, they do know, but it's almost a performance of denial. Like, I know, but I'm going to pretend I don't know. Because if I were to act like, yes, it's all clear, yes, we know where we stand, we know where we're going, and I'm the one who's not changing or making a choice or a decision to move forward, then I'm the one who is holding this back. And that's the responsibility someone here does not want to take. The responsibility that they are holding this back when this could actually move forward, but they're not letting it move forward. Okay, there's a responsibility there that is being avoided. What else is really going on between the two of you right now? Sun's energy again, second time. Okay, that's really significant. Change. Now we have summer and fall. Summer and fall. But this is about the sun's energy bringing clarity. This is about like transformation that comes after clarity. Crossroads, divergent paths, choices, confusion. Follow your intuition. Vibration, energy and positivity. Raise your vibration to attract what you desire. Okay, so see, this is the same thing. There's something here about a decision that needs to be made. There's a crossroads here. So for a while, it seems that this relationship has been kind of, slowly moving forward, chugging along, that sense of like, okay, it's not the fastest thing, it's not the best progress, but we're going with it. It's a little bit here, a little bit there. But now you're reaching a point where there's a decision that needs to be made because the crossroads is here. So you're trying to choose, are you going to continue down the path together or are you going to go your separate ways? And that's where it's like the vibration to me is that sense of that, like pulling you towards a decision. Okay, there's a vibration here that is pulling you spiritually towards a resolution, right? Like this can't just be kind of stuck forever. And to me, this is again a second confirmation that there is this sense of when the sun brings clarity, that's when something will change. That's when something will transform. And when that transformation happens, when clarity comes and that transformation happens, that's when this decision will be made. And you will know whether you're moving forward together or you're moving forward separately. So if this resonates, then I highly recommend a personal reading, because that's when we can get in deeper on what's going on specifically between you and your person, and we can see what would be the right next steps. What is coming down the line? How can this be resolved so that you're not stuck anymore? So if you'd like to do that, you could do the live or the video recorded, and the links are in the box or on the screen right now. Okay, who is your goddess guide? Irene, peace. And her message is, there's no need to worry as everything is working out beautifully. Okay, so if you're feeling anxiety about this relationship, Irene is saying, do not worry, do not be anxious. Everything will work out beautifully. Okay, that's a good, positive feeling to keep within your soul. So if you'd like personal readings, or if you'd like to order the oracle decks that I've created and used in this reading, the Love Oracle or the Money and Business and Career Oracle, these are also on sale with free shipping at Amazon.com. All the links are in the box below. If you haven't already, please do hit that subscribe and give this video a like. It really helps me and the channel. So I really appreciate you being here. Thank you so much for all your support, and I will see you all on the next one.